Hey everybody, here we have a DirecTV DVR box we're about to pop open and disassemble. This is given to my neighbors. They now have Time Warner cable. DirecTV said they didn't want the stuff back, so basically, here we go. They actually got two boxes for them. This is the DVR box. The other box was just a basic set-top box, which I gutted and made a TV box slim out of. This is the actual DVR, and I'm curious to see what size hard drive and things it has in it. So let's have a look at this thing. Yeah, that's just the bottom of it. It's obviously a DirecTV box. Not sure if it's made by Hughes or not. That's who used to have their names on DirecTV boxes. I've actually disassembled two older boxes in the past and got the hard drives out of them. Now this one was made in 2009, actually near the end of 2009. But one thing that really irritates me is, if you look at all these connectors back here, there's one common connector that was even common in 2009 that was missing here. Just take a careful look. Well, actually two common connectors from 2009 that are missing here. It tells me it's more of a basic inbox. Okay, there's no HDMI cable hookup, and there's no component hookups. So obviously this is not considered an HD box, which is kind of disappointing considering, this box came out in 2009. Or that was when it was manufactured. So basically you have, your ports there, phone jack for caller ID, cooling fan. This is actually probably where the power supply unit is located. So let's go ahead and get rid of our warranty sticker and take the cover off. Okay, to crank this box open, once we peel off the warranty void sticker, easiest way is just to cut it. We have some T9 screws in the back, Torx bit. Seems to be pretty common with these kinds of boxes. They use Torx bits and not Phillips heads, because some average Joes do not have Torx bit screwdrivers available. Basically the most common is Phillips head. Apparently they figured out we'll just use Torx bits and prevent some people from getting into these things. I guess that was our idea. I mean, if you look at a microwave, it actually has like a security screw somewhere. That one's on there tight. Man. Always going to have that one screw. Okay, everybody. That screw refused to let go, so I grabbed the flathead and just started prying around it till it popped off completely. I had no intentions of putting this thing back together, so let's have a look inside here. Pretty neat. So for those who have never seen inside of a DVR box before, well, here you go. On the far left, when you're looking at the front, we had the power supply, which for those who see my power supply videos on computers, obviously these are highly similar. But I'm a bit surprised that there's no cooling fan within the general vicinity of this supply to keep it cool. But basically we have some basic components here. Similar to a regular switch mode power supply, which this is a switching power supply by the way. We have an MOV there for surge protection. There's your NTC thermistor, main filtering capacitor. Let's see, filtering coil, your main switchers there, transformer. So it looks like a coupling capacitor there. It appears this thing has 3 output rails, at least from what I see. One of them 5 volt, one of them 12 volt, and it looks like maybe we have a 7 volt and a 3 volt. It looks like might be some DC to DC conversion in there somewhere. I see 3V We also have, let's see, 12 volt, 7 volt, and 5 volt. Have a power good signal. Probably can't really see that very well. Let me just go ahead and get you a better focus and see if we can disconnect some things. Obviously, this power supply was not intended to power a whole lot, but and this does come out as well. The connector for the main board. So there we go. Apparently this thing has a standby mode. It's like it's really similar to an ATX style power supply. Gives you a better look at everything. You see these capacitors are 1000 microfarad 16 volt. It appears they're all the same. Yeah, I think some of them are L-Tech. The others, well, I think actually they all appear to be L-Tech. Here's the hard disk drive, and it's funny to note this is an IDE hard drive, not a SATA hard drive. Again, this box was made in 2009, kind of using data technology, I think, considering SATA hard drives have been up for quite some time. The hard drive is fastened in with some rubber bushings on the corners. That way, if the box gets slammed a little bit, it's kind of, you know, helps dampen the hard drive a bit. And this is also like this for acoustics. Makes the thing run quieter. There's our IDE cable. Yep. And just look how gutless this thing is. I mean, obviously, you can't even do high definition. Just standard def, and that's it. Yeah, that's lovely. Let's see what size screws we have there. They're torque bits, obviously. I don't think a T9 is big enough, but let's see. Oh, it is. We need to just loosen those up a little bit. Don't want to take them out completely. This one actually, yeah, I think we do. Yep, there's that. Just go ahead and take them all out. Why not? Not sure what brand hard drive we have just yet. Looks like it might be Seagate. I don't know. Can't really tell just from looking at the bottom of it. Now basically, a while back I did disassemble a huge DVR that had a 250 gig hard drive. I think it was actually a high def DVR box. It did have HDMI ports on it. So I'm curious to see what size hard disk this thing has. I was right, it is a Seagate. It is a Seagate hard drive. IDE. Pretty dated, let's admit. If I can get this power connector to budge, that'd be great. There we go. Got this lovely tape up here. That's a 160 gigabyte. 160 gig hard drive. I guess for standard definition TV, you could probably store a decent amount of hours of shows. And I wouldn't get you too far on today's standards, you know, high definition. It is a basic little single platter, 160 gig hard drive. See, DB 35.3. Not sure if this is a 2 megabyte or an 8 megabyte cache drive. That DB 35.3 makes me believe this is possibly a 2 meg. So, probably not a very, very well performing hard drive, but, you know, it is a hard drive. You can, you know, format and partition it, install it into a computer, and you can just run it in a computer. I don't think you can actually recover shows off of these. This one, I'm not sure if it was white or not. They were using this up until about a few months ago. Now these things, I believe they do generally have like their own style file systems. Like you can't really plug it to a computer and get the files off of it. That might be something to take a look into later on, just for the heck of it. Plug in my ID USB adapter and we'll see. Okay, next thing I want to get out of this thing is a fan. Now, in regards to these DVR boxes, or set-top boxes in general, there's not a whole lot I'm really interested in these things. Except for the hard drive and maybe a couple of things like that. Now, it appears these fan screws are like T10 or something like that. See if I can loosen them up with the needle noses. Nope, not going to happen. So I gotta get the correct bits and we'll have that fan out of there. Okay, now we have, I believe it's a T10. No, it's T15. Yeah, I was way off my sizing. So, I'm going to take that fan out of there. See what we have. Because my TV box Slim that I'm building does need an additional cooling fan for the casing. And this is a perfect size fan. Okay, here's the fan. It's the sun on. It's the typical 12 volt fan. Looks like it's about a centimeter in thickness. I think it'll do just fine. And I'm not sure if it's thermally controlled or not. It's either thermally controlled or it just runs wide open. But before I test it, let's just go and get you one more look inside this thing. Yeah, I'm not going to completely tear this down because I don't have any use for the rest of the stuff. I mean, I could possibly save the caps off the power supply, but really, there's not a whole lot I could do with it. It's funny to think how gutless these boxes are. I mean, I believe that is our main processing chip there. I think it's ST Microelectronics, STI 5528GWC. If anybody wants to look up the data sheet on that, just for whatever reason. I'm sure some of you guys do like to look up this kind of stuff and get the technical details of everything, so you can see either how good it is or how crappy it is. Now perhaps if I was able to gut this thing out pretty good, you know, get these centerpieces out, which I probably could, you know, it could probably be the basis for another TV box Slim with maybe, you know, DVR capabilities. Not really sure. I'm not going to do this yet. Might be something for me to think about. Do have a pretty good sized little case there, but getting a motherboard to fit in there is going to be pretty fun. It shouldn't be as bad as fitting into a little B set-top box though. But anyways, let's go ahead and test that fan and we'll call this video an end. I'm curious to see how good that fan works. So we have our little connector here. And we'll just simply plug it in like so. Match up the polarities. See, there we go. Does move a pretty good amount of air considering how quiet it is. Now I don't know if this box actually had it thermally controlled or not. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Any questions or comments? Feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.